Hey everybody, Modoch here with another lower tier ranked match commentary game. This game I am playing against N4ndO0, guessing N4ndO. It's 275 Exotic League. Once again, I'm using my full faction Skywing, and he's using full faction Iron Fist Stronghold. First deploys a Savage Wolf, so anytime I see IS now, I automatically think Barbarians because that's kind of the flavor of the month. I put out my Acid Craw. Alright, so he's got enough juice to actually get in that middle font if he wants to. And I gotta be honest with you, if it were me, that's probably what I would have done. But he goes and takes his lower font, which is actually still a good move, because usually you can't contest that farther font until the next turn. Alright. Alright, so I kept my close font. And go ahead and put out, I think... Yeah, I put out my prismatic. Same price. Again, I kind of like I really like the prismatic Skywing right now. Like I said, I kind of want to get him out so that I can start rolling up his hit points. Alright, so he takes his Venerable Barbarian up to his top font, and takes his wolf into the center. I go ahead and move to take my top font and contest with my Acid Craw. And I scribe, got some good units for next turn, so I go ahead and drop my Touch of Indrax. And wait for next turn. Alright, so here he's just kind of early game positioning. Nothing too exciting. He puts out a Terraformer and a Renegade. So he's got 4 Savage Champs out, so that's always fun. I do have some Perseverance counters here, so I'm not horribly worried. Go ahead and put my Hellion down, who has the Touch of Indrax on him now. Go ahead and move my Prismatic down just a bit. Save some AP. And double tap the wolf. We've got another Terraformer. And this kind of becomes a theme this match. I'm never quite able to overcome all those Savage champs. Because he just keeps dropping them. And on a map like this where, you know, you've got 2 fonts, you know, Nora is usually not a problem at all. Especially with a fairly cheap theme like Barbarians. You can just keep pumping those things out and keep that Savage Will up. I'm not really sure why he moved his wolf away. But I go into a Gravity Well. kind of gets my Hellion in a little closer. And I go ahead and drop the hive so that I can kind of get Perseverance counter going. And go ahead and drop an Agitator as well. And end my turn. Alright, so his wolf is dead. I'm in pretty decent position with my units. But things get a little clumped here pretty quickly too, so that's the interesting thing about this particular map is that mid-font. Obviously where the main battle pretty much always takes place, but it can also get really crowded and lead to some really bad positioning at the same time. So, especially with the cliffs and the lava, this makes things kind of interesting. Moves his veteran barbarian out. At this point, I'm just hoping he makes a mistake and lets me have that font. I'm not really sure what he's thinking about with his positioning, but he's kind of thinking. Moves his barbarian back in the same spot he was. I say I don't think he's in swoop range now, but I don't think he's in punish aura range. So I'm not sure why he moved out and then back in. And then goes and spends all his AP on the renegade to get up into the font and engage my prismatic, and deploys another veteran. So go ahead and swoop in. I'm going to try to kind of take him out if I can. And I'm not sure that I can. I think I actually fail here pretty miserably. And again, my grouping is just horrible. Should never have your champs grouped like that. I'll go ahead and draw my Imperator. Kind of save an AP. But like I said, my grouping's horrible. Just not happy with that at all. Alright, Acid Cross survives for now. Gotta love those reflexes. Like I said, kind of both of our positioning and grouping gets really just horrible in this game. Gets a Rock Slide, gets rid of my Acid Craw. Lava Storm. Which will actually kind of hurt because they've lost flying due to the rock fall. Again, not really sure why he moved away. I guess just for punishing aura purposes. But I think I would have moved, I don't know. And then he engages with his veteran. And I assume there he dropped his banner and his top font. At the time I wasn't really worried about that too much. I go and drop my banner in my top font. There's nothing to purge. Drop a Paradosphere on the veteran. And my goal here is to take out the veteran and have the Paradosphere damage take out the renegade. I'm going to go ahead and put a rage band on my Skywing so I can kind of start rolling this, his damage up a little bit. So I think I realized there that I wouldn't be able to kill the Barbarian, and the Paradosphere had already procced twice, so again, just really bad positioning on my part, like just grouping all my champs together. But yeah, and that Renegade is just out of hive range, which is just really unfortunate. So I go ahead and end my turn. Let all my other things take effect. And somehow that Renegade died. Oh, from the... Okay, yeah, I know why he died. The hive hit because of Paradosphere. Yeah, that's right. So it didn't matter that he was out of range. Alright, takes out my Prismatic. Recovers the globe, attacks my Hellion for some reason. I don't think he probably forgot about Oblivion Shield. I'm just kind of checking my ranges on everything. At this point, I'm fairly happy. I'm fairly happy with how the game is going. Like I said, he keeps pumping out champs. I'm just trying to kind of overcome that savage racial at this point. He goes in and casts Pride of Sarncaver, which really kind of annoys me. And he goes ahead and engages my Imperator with his veteran. So I think this is actually a pretty good matchup for this battle group because, like I said, I've got a lot of Perseverance counters with the Hive and with the Punishing Aura. So Resolute only affects melee damage, so I go ahead and take that. Oh, I tried to take that out. Righteous Deflection sucks. Go ahead and move up and hit the Terraformer and move out so the Salt procs, and that puts the Veteran on his last breath. I go ahead and Acid Storm. Try to get the Terraformer on his last breath and forget about the IS bonus, which I always forget about when it comes to spells. I'm not too worried about the Veteran next to me. Just kind of trying to do as much damage as I can to all of his units. Maybe I can, next turn, maybe I can kill 2 or 3 at a time. And then I won't have to worry about the Savage Racial the rest of the time. But so that's my thought process anyway. Alright. Veteran's dead. His 2 Terraformers are hurt badly. His Veteran looks like he might be making a move for my bottom font. Finally realizes that he needs to take out the Hive, although terraforming the land isn't going to do much. You should have just attacked it, which he does here. But it's still going to hang around for another turn. Yeah, if he would have just attacked it with his other terraformer, it would have been gone. And then he puts out a Barbarian Guardian. Moves one out of hive range. I'm kind of calculating my Nora, see what I can put down next turn here. Think about the Rumbler, just because he's close to that veteran. Go ahead and put another Skywing, Prismatic Skywing down to protect that font. I move my Imperator up and get an Acid Breath off so that I can get both of those guys down. Kind of move him back. I move my agitator down to the veteran down here. Get a little call to arms action going. Alright, still contesting the font. Unfortunately, we're both out of range of the hive, so does a Rock Storm. I mean, both of the terraformers are going to die, so we should just do whatever damage you can. He finally takes out the hive. And moves his Guardian up just a little bit. And puts out a Barbarian Archer. Like I said, he just kind of keeps pumping out units. So even with the terraformers dying, Savage is still up because he's got 4 units. It's really kind of, honestly, in this game, it's kind of starting to annoy me a little bit. But I still think I can kind of overcome it with what I have out. So he abandons threatening my shrine and my font. Terraformers are gone. My electrical storm. Save some AP there. He had dodge up, which I forgot about. Go ahead and recover globes, forget that I'm not flying anymore, and take massive damage there. So that kind of sucked. And then I decide I need to deploy again. And I get a patrol out so that I can get my beacon going maybe. And deploy my beacon. And trying to decide what I want to do with that Sunder Hellion. He's gonna die. He's only got 4 hit points left. So I decided I'd go ahead and just recover the globe. And Dragon Fear the Guardian. Alright, so we'll be able to get a double tap off. I mean, Mahillion's dead. I know that. There's no way around that. Puts out a Wild Chieftain. As it just keeps pumping out those units. Nothing you kind of have to do with barbarians. Just keep pumping out units. I think if it were me, I think I would have used the archer to take him out. That way I don't take the backload, the fire shield damage. And then you could have moved up and... I mean, I understand why he did it. You know, because awestruck, you're not going to do much damage, so... Either way, it's dead. Doesn't really matter. But, like I said, I knew he was dead anyway. Alright, moves his veteran up to engage the Skywing, the Agitator. And I'm just kind of waiting for him to finish his moves. Moves in to engage the Imperator. Alright. So I really like the Skywing Patrol. Sometimes I feel it might take a little... I don't know, it's hard to use them sometimes because you want to deploy that relic. You want to relocate it. Sometimes for some reason I have a hard time getting double attacks off with him. He did pretty decent positioning there. I think that's what he's trying to go for, to kind of keep all three of them out of breath range. I kind of just ping everything. Should have done the patrol first to sunder him, but that's just my... Alright, so you proc his last breath. Unfortunately, I don't have a perseverance counter there, so I can't really kill him. Go ahead and engage him for some reason. I'm going to put down a minefield. And a touch of Indrex for my next dread. So I'm really not sure why I engaged the veteran with my prismatic. I should have just left him, either backed off of him or something. Alright, puts out the Exemplar. So that's kind of annoying. Because up until this point he's used pretty cheap champs. He eats a mine and actually procs last breath on his other barb, so that's kind of cool. Tries to take out the Skywing, the Imperator, and it just doesn't happen with Majestic there. With Majestic and Aerial Supremacy and all that other good stuff, Dragon Hide, it's just hard to do unless you take him out from range. Alright, so we procced all four of the mines, which is nice. Got at least one kill out of it. Alright, so I move my patrol up, relocate my beacon. Go ahead and breath. Say he's on his last breath anyway, so it doesn't really matter. At this point I need to get... Yeah, I still attack him for some reason. I should have really attacked the Guardian there. That would have left me free to do something else. Yeah, I could have... But to attack the Guardian first. Could have procced his last breath earlier. Kind of recover the globe, and I go ahead and put Vinny out. Who has a touch of Indrax. How appropriate. Alright, so at this point I'm fairly comfortable with where I am at in the game. I'm happy with most of the moves I've made. Most of the decisions I made I'm very happy with. I'm thinking at this point that he's got to be running out of champs soon. I mean, I've killed quite a few. He's deployed pretty much every turn. So at this point I really do kind of just... I'm thinking this has got to be close to being over. Alright, with scrambling and war cry and all this other stuff. It's able to take out my Imperator. And recover the globe. And still contest the font. But I'm still, like I said, I'm still pretty confident with how this game is going. I'm still really happy with where I'm at. And he puts out another exemplar. Like I said, just playing that barb strategy to a T. Deploy, deploy, deploy. Right, unfortunately I can't get to that globe. I think about gravity well, but that just kind of puts me in a bad position, I think. Going to bed, I'm going to try to take out the chieftain. Again, I do things out of order, but it doesn't matter because it's last breath anyway. And then I drop the Paradosphere on the archer. And ping him with my Skywing, with my Prismatic. And kind of move Vindrax all the way up. Probably shoulda, saved some AP there, but then engage the archer. Yeah. Drop a Legion Standard on my Prismatic Skywing. Just because I can. Brings his exemplars in, and again, just pretty horrid positioning on his part, I think. Puts out another chieftain. Goes ahead and procs his war cry. My agitator's almost dead. Attacks the Prismatic. The agitator. Attacks the prismatic. Covers the globe. And attacks again. So my prismatic is kind of hurting. His first chieftain is going to die. And then he backs out of the font. Backs off again with his exemplar. I think here I'm trying to figure out what where my awestruck is coming from, and I think it's coming from martyrdom. So it's annoying, but I'm not sure what I can do about it, really. I go ahead and get a breath off with Vinny. I really kind of want to take those exemplars out as quickly as I can, because they have the punishing aura as well. And they have counterattack ranged, which is kind of annoying as well. Move that up so that I can relocate my beacon. And drop a rumbler so that I can attack the exemplar. And try to use all the AP that I can. And obviously I try to use all the AP I can because I tried to disengage with the rumbler. But so the rumbler's going to take a little of punishing aura damage. But I've really kind of hurt his exemplar there. I moves the chieftain up to engage the patrol. Does another Pride of Sargever to mitigate melee damage. Still trying to take out that prismatic. Although I don't know why he's worried about it. It seems like it's perma awestruck. He's not really doing a whole lot of damage to anything. He stuns my patrol. Alright. So I decided to try a purge. To try to get rid of the Resolute if I can. Drop my hive. Unfortunately, I don't think it works. It doesn't get rid of the awestruck on my Skywind either. Yeah, somehow Purge didn't get rid of the Resolute condition, so that kind of sucks. And I'm not going to do any damage there either. Go ahead and Gravity Well, and that allows me to get a ranged attack on the Archer, which procs the Paradosphere, which procs Last Breath on one of the exemplars. So that's kind of cool. And I go ahead and take the damage from the counterattack. And I move Vinny up. Kind of try to use him next turn to finish a couple guys off. And again, I'm trying to kind of use AP so I don't get hit with punishing aura too badly. Alright, so one exemplar gone, one on last breath. Moves his chieftain away from the patrol. I'm assuming to proc Warcry for his other units here when he attacks. Alright, takes advantage of the pawn. There's his war cry. Of course, it doesn't give the exemplar too much more. Takes out the rumbler. And this is the point where I think, alright, finally he's not going to deploy anymore. You can't have too many more champs to deploy. I think I've got the savage thing licked. But then there comes a displaced. Goes ahead and double taps my prismatic. Takes it out. But doesn't recover any of the globes. So exemplars on last breath. I'm just kind of trying to figure out my positioning here so that I can both recover globes and do some damage. Somehow last breath proc twice on that exemplar. I don't know how. I'm guessing it was because he deployed that displaced and it reset it for some reason, which is just, I don't know, dumb. I don't know if that's a bug or what, but it's kind of annoying. Good thing is the hive is up, so it doesn't really matter, but at this point I'm just kind of deciding what I want to deploy here. And I decide on another Imperator. And of course I can't do that other globe. Member's dead. Martyrdom procs again. Alright, brings up his displaced. And puts another displaced. So Savage is once again back up. And I'm so excited about that. Attacks Vindrax, procs the Warcry. Charges my patrol. I'm still feeling pretty good about this. The displaces kind of worry me, but overall I'm still happy with how this game is going. One short of killing the hive. Goes ahead and uses his tremor to kill the beacon, which I think, I don't know. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have died anyway because of the sand, but alright, so get a breath off. Go ahead and kill the chieftain. Can't really decide what I want to do with Vinny. Go ahead and deploy another agitator. And Dragon Fear the Displaced. Just to kind of control things a little bit here. And then I move Vindrex in to kind of try to take out that archer the next turn. And move my Imperator up to Ostrike the Chieftain. Not that it matters, because he's dead. So again, I'm still thinking at this point that, okay, how many more champs can he really have? Finishes off the Hive. Kind of brings his Displace up to recover a globe. Double taps my patrol. Single taps the Imperator. Still fairly happy, and then that happens. Fucking blink. I'm pissed. Puts out a failed amplifier to try to just kind of hold that. Blink is probably the spell I hate the worst in this game. It's permanent removal. And it's just fucking annoying. So now I just kind of try to spend. Basically, this forces me to spend all my resources to try to get around so that I can get Vindrex back. And it just really fucking annoys me. I just really fucking hate that spell. It's a brainless play. There's no strategy involved in it. There's no, I don't know. I just really don't like that spell. I'm going to go ahead and put out another touch of Vindrex for my next deploy. At this point, my Imperator's in a good spot. He's not going to die, but I really need to get rid of that archer so that I can get Vindrex back. I also kind of start looking at the cooldowns on my dead champs to kind of figure out when he'll be able to start deploying his early champs again, and it's coming up pretty quickly. So, he takes out my patrol. He's still sitting on the blinked area, and now the champ advantage is decidedly his. Kind of tapping at the Imperator, little mosquito bites. Probably should have taken out that archer a lot earlier than I tried to. I just wasn't really that worried about him at all. I mean, at this point, I still think I can win this game. Puts out Interrogator, which procs Savage again. Every time I think I've taken care of it, he puts out another champ, so that's kind of annoying. Going to put out a Hellion. I'm still kind of hell-bent on clearing that blink space so that I can get Vinny back. Problem is Savage. So even though I've got him on his last breath now, it's still going to be 2 more turns at least before I get Vindrex back. And kind of looking back on it now, I probably should have moved my Imperator so that he couldn't move his Displaced up there. But at this point, I'm just expending all of my resources to try to counter Blink. And I don't think one spell should be that powerful. I put it in the same realm as Damachasm and Drown. It's just too easy. At least with Damachasm and Drown, you need another condition for it to work. With Blink, you just need a spell. Alright, so he just kind of wails on my Imperator until it's dead. And then he goes and takes all the lava damage in the world just so he can get his displaced on the Blink. And moves his Interrogator up to engage my Agitator. And puts out another Savage Wolf. So he's back around to his first couple units coming off cooldown. My first Skywing came off cooldown. So I take out the displaced, but the team kicks in. Again, I still think I can get it done, but you know, like I said, all my really strong champs are on cooldown now. But I need to keep up. Like, I would really like to save Nora and put, you know, put Valdek out. But I really just need to keep my champ count up. Just kind of seeing trying to guess where he might move that other displaced. He brings his wolf up. Was another veteran barbarian. As I said, I think he played well and everything. I just think it's really disappointing that one spell like Blink can turn games so drastically. Double tap off on my Agitator. Still able to hang on to that Blink spot. Like I said, with Savage and Team on the displaced, that spot is not going to be cleared anytime soon. And I kind of come to that realization about this turn. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out how I can recover. I obviously need to keep deploying